Hey guys, welcome to 16 and 17. These lessons are about multiplication and division and polynomials, okay? Multiplication is simple, division is a little bit more complicated because you gotta kind of focus in and make sure you're not missing anything. Then in lesson 17, we're gonna be talking about subscriptive variables and angle relationships. I love angle relationships because I'm weird. Okay, here we go. When we're multiplying polynomials, just make sure that everything touches everything. What do I mean by that? This 2x needs to be multiplied by this 3x, this 5x, and this 2x. Okay, and you can't lose these signs. Then the 2 needs to be multiplied by the 3x squared, the negative 5x, and the 2, okay? So in order to get used to it, sometimes I just draw lines, right? 2 times 3 is 6x to the third, because this is 1 and 2, so you add those together and it's 3. Then this one over here is negative 10x squared. And this one over here is plus 4x. And this one right here is plus 6x squared minus 10x plus 4. Okay? I know it looks ugly up there, but at least you know that you're hitting everything that you need to. Then you combine, right, everything that's alike and make sure you don't miss anything there. You have only 1x to the third, so it's 6x to the third. You have 2x squared, so you have negative 10 plus 6x is negative 4x squared. You have 4 and negative 10x, so you have negative 6x, and then you only have one whole number, that's plus 4. And there is your answer. We're going to check and make sure we're right, so I'm not teaching you something wrong. Six x to the third minus 4, yes, okay, I was looking at the wrong answer. I was scared. Poochie, I was like, I don't know what I did wrong. Okay, if you know that you already have a tendency to get these kinds of ones wrong, stop the video, try to do the example by yourself without looking at the answer, and then go back and find your mistake if you made one, okay? Okay, here's another one for multiplying, right? We have 3x squared, make sure it hits everything over here. So 3x squared times x is 3x to the third, minus 6x squared, okay, then this one needs to hit minus 2x squared. Be careful with your signs, okay, you guys? Then this one is going to be plus 4x, and this one's minus 2x, and this one's plus 4. Okay, just bring it together. 3x to the third, you can cross it out to make sure you did everything right. 8x squared plus 2x plus 4. Okay, we check our answer, we got it right, woohoo, and that's multiplication. Okay guys, now we're into division. Check example 3. Look at your book and compare it to how I wrote the problem on the board. You want to put everything in the correct order when you're writing it from the book onto your piece of paper. You should not be copying it exactly like it is in the example, or you're going to have a complete mess, okay? So if you look, even though the book says it's negative 4 plus x, you need to write it with the x in front and the whole number after it. Then the thing inside here always has to be in numerical order by its exponent. So if you have 3 here, this should be the 2, this should be the 1, and this should be the nothing. But also you need to be checked that you have everything. Like if you start out with 3 but you don't have a 2, you're going to have to put a 0 in that place, okay? Or if you have a 3 and a 2 but you don't have the 1, you're going to have to put a 0 in that place. If you do not, then you'll figure it out really quickly that you did something incorrectly, because you're going to have like nowhere to go in your division thing, okay? But you're going to see an example of that in example 4. So this one just sets it up easy for you, tries to make it easy as possible so you can see the basics of division by polynomials. So here's what you do. You start with this term right here. You don't worry about the negative 4 yet. You're just worrying about x, 5x to the third divided by x. So you're asking yourself, what are you about that, right? To get to this? Well, we need a 5 and we need an x squared, because you already have an x, but you need 2 more x's, right? Then to make sure that you did it correctly, you're going to continue with your order of division steps. You have 5x squared times x is going to give you a 5x to the third. Then you do 5x squared times negative 4. Don't miss the negative. Don't turn it into a positive. That's going to be a negative 20x squared, okay? Then, in order to continue with your steps, the next step to division is subtract. So you need to change your signs always. This becomes negative, this becomes positive. You have to change the sign on this one too. If you do not, then you're going to get a wrong answer. You know that you're doing it correctly when these cancel out. If these don't cancel out, then you forgot to change your sign. So here we go, it's 5 minus 5, so that cancels. Then you have 20 minus 2, so that's 18x squared. And bring down your plus 5x. Then start the process again. What do you falter from x to 18x squared? You need an 18x, okay, because you already have one of the x's. Do 18x times times x, and you get 18x squared. 18 times -4, you get a negative 72x. Okay, change your signs to make these cancel out. So you have this is negative and this is positive. Cancel out the 18s, and this is 77x. Bring this down, plus 2. Okay? Keep going with the process. What do you falter to get x to be 77x? You need 77, okay? 77 times x is going to give you 77x. And then 77 times -4 is going to give you negative 308. Okay? Then you change your signs to make these cancel out. This becomes positive, and you have 310 as your remainder. What do you do with that? You put it right after your last term, 310 over this thing out here, x minus 4. And that is the basic steps to division by polynomials. Now we're gonna get into it when some of the terms are missing. Okay, so here's example 4, you guys. Now this, look at your book. Look at how it's written in the book. You have -2 plus x, so this one is x minus 2. You gotta switch that around, right? And then look at this one. This is the example of where you have to put zeros in, okay? You gotta put them in as like placeholders because it's holding the spaces, okay? So you have x to the third minus 6 was the original one, but then you got to put in 0x squared and 0x. And so if you're asking, well, how do we know which ones we need the placeholders for? Well, the highest one is 3 that is given, so you got to go down to 1. Okay, that's your placeholders. You don't have to go anywhere else except what isn't given after the highest one that you already get. So here we go. We're going to look at this one first, right? It goes x into x cubed is going to be x squared. Multiply that together, and then multiply x squared minus 2x, so it's going to be negative 2x squared. Make sure you change your sign so that these can cancel out, right? So you have a positive 2x squared. Bring down your 0x. Okay, so you have x into 2x squared is going to give you 2x, because that's what nos falta. So you have 2x times x is going to give you 2x squared. 2x times negative 2 is going to give you negative 4x. Change your signs again so that this cancels out, and that'll be a negative 4x, and then bring down your, ooh, no, I didn't change my sign, ha ha ha. Change my sign there, look, see how easy it is to forget that? That'll be a positive 4x, and you bring down your negative 6. You get x into 4x, it's going to give you positive 4. 4 times x is 4x, and then 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Change your sign, so you're left with a 2. Make sure that we're doing it correctly. Yes, we are. So then put the 2 as your remainder and put this on the bottom. And there you go. That's how you do it. So here you go. Do your practice because there's only one, so we don't need to wait till the end. And then I'll show you the answer. Okay, here's your answer. 4x squared plus 9x plus 34 plus 105x over x minus 3. If you didn't get that right, watch. Okay, let's see how to do this one right here. So we have x into 4x cubed is 4x squared. 4x squared times x is going to be 4x cubed. And this times this is going to be negative 12x squared, right? They were nice to you on this with practice, by the way, because they didn't make you do any placeholders. Make sure you change your signs. This is going to be 9x squared. Bring down the 7x. So that's x into 9x squared is going to give you 9x. 9x times x is 9x squared and minus 27x. Change your sign, so it's going to give you 34x. Bring down your plus 3. X into 34x is going to give you plus 34. So 34 times x is going to give you 34x. And minus, bummer, 4 times 3 is 12, so it would be 102. Change your sign, that would be 105. So it's 105 over x minus 3. Okay guys, for lesson 17, you're talking about subscripted variables and angle relationships. Look, there's going to be some times that you need to keep your subscripted variables, I guess. Like in example 2, for sure. You're going to have to keep your subscripted variables because if not, it's going to get confusing because the big letter changes, okay? But in this one, if you look at the example in the book, you have N, 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 D, N, 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 D. N, D. I didn't keep the subscriptive variables. I didn't keep this big one right there, because that's N, 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 N. I just kept the little letters because then it looks easier for me. It looks easier to look at, okay? So it's up to you how you want to write out these kinds of problems, but you don't always have to write out all the little letters if you don't need them. If you can distinguish between the N and the D, you're good to go, okay? So it just says to solve this system. Well, you can do that 2 ways. You can do that by elimination and by substitution, because now you know both of those ways, right? But this one, to me, is going to be tan fácil, if I would write it correctly. It'd be tan fácil to do elimination, right? Because, okay, because what you're going to do is just multiply it by -5 to make this 5n and this -5. So here we go. I'm going to write it down here on the bottom. -5n minus 5d equals, don't forget to multiply these in this one, -200. Eliminate that, it's going to be 5d equals 50. Okay, so d equals 10. Then you plug it back into an original one. That's going to be n plus 10 equals 40. So n equals what? 30. And there's your answer. Okay? Make sure that you check it. So it'll be 30 plus 10 equals 40. Yes, it does. There you go. You already checked it. Okay, let's do example 2.